Happy homebrew weekend. Friday, 6th of September, 20 past midday. I'm at home. I took the day off. Just trying to catch up on things in general. In particular, the garage slash brew shed. I'm worried about this can because it's a John Boston Coastal XPA. I don't even know if you can see that or what it's. But the nothing wrong with the beer. It just sat in my car for about a year, and I was like, we'll have a go, see what's going on. My fresh work kit beer, the American IPA, is ready to go. So I've been cleaning the kegs. I think last time we spoke about the issue with the kegs and the seals. So I've ordered these like huge, like a full set of seal kits from Kegland or something like that, but they didn't come in time. So I headed down to the homebrew shop, the local, and got some keg seals for the keg posts. So I didn't bother with the keg lubricant and stuff like that because they were working for such a long time. I just had these kegs sitting there for almost 3 years, and the seals have dried out and snapped. So I've replaced the seals on the keg posts. Perfect. Gas going in good. I'm actually getting ready to re-clean and re-put together, reset up a Pluto gun. The one that I had, or I found, the lines were just, they weren't clean. They were probably cleanable, but I can't be bothered. And it's a little bit of hose and some sanitizer, and we're back to doing a fresh Pluto gun. So what I'm going to do, so that's the whole purpose of this, is while I'm setting that up, I thought I would set up the Pluto gun and have a chat. Cheers. Very worried. It's okay. You can yeah. It's actually kind of homebrewy, but it's still beer. I like a little bit more head on that, I guess, in a little bit. I've been doing this. I've got to stop distracting myself. I love that, like, that foam that you get in the beer when it's like, even if it's crystal clear, that little quarter inch of head that's like, that little cap on top. I miss that with some of these beers, and I'm assuming that's my fault for mistreating the can for over 12 months. But look, it's wet, it's bitter, it tastes like beer. I'll stop complaining because I'm very lucky to be able to sit here and do this for, at this point in my life. I'm in the kitchen instead of the garage today because of the hot water and the stuff there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this water boiled. I'm going to fill up my mug, and then I'm going to show you what I do with the rest of the stuff here to set up the Pluto gun. So give me a couple of minutes. We're going to keep chatting. So what this boiling water is for the beer line. Because the Pluto gun, I've actually made a video about this on YouTube. Give me 2 seconds. It was called How to Set Up a Pluto Gun. And kind of the whole difficulty, the only difficulty really, is the installation of the beer line on the barb. And I'm sure there's like a duo type fitting or something you can get now that can kind of do that for you. But I don't have that, so mine's going to be beer line. The one that I've got is a barbed one. And what I'm doing here, this is my Star Sand. I'm going to just reuse some of it because why not? This is all sanitizer. I should really be talking at the camera, but I'm one of those people, I can't help myself. Okay, so that's full. This is all Star Sand sanitizer. I should probably get a tea towel out too, shouldn't I? And it's really, really simple. So Here is all of the ingredients you need to set up a Pluto gun. Here's my beer line. Handle of the Pluto gun, right? The thread end of the Pluto gun. And my duo-type connection. And there's the bowl lock valve in there. See, it's really cool getting to go through all my homebrew stuff again and, I don't know, see what's missing, see what's not, see what's working, see what's not, fixing everything and just getting the system back up again. It's it's really good and it's kind of necessary because one of the biggest things, I know I'm supposed to be drinking a beer while I do this, but this isn't quite as enjoyable as I hoped. Maybe I need a homebrewed. Yeah, I'm really kind of having to go back to basics. From brewing like so many beers in such a complicated way sometimes, weird fermentations, 3-vessel brewing, going like having a 3-year break almost and doing nothing. I kind of feel dumb again. Not dumb, but like I'm like, hang on, what do we do here? How do we do this? What's going on? And it's all coming back to me very quickly, which is really cool. But I'm just putting that in the boiling water too, because I'm like, hey, we've used sanitizer, but have we boiled the shit out of it? No. Going back to basics and learning how to make good beer from kits and fresh work kits again. Is kind of fun too. Like I really enjoyed making the fresh work kit. It took no time, it took minimal effort, but I had a good time, which is really important. I'm still figuring out which brew kit or brewery I'm gonna buy and have set up in the garage. The most important thing that I've found so far for brewing is temperature control for your fermentation. You want to be spot on with your fermentation. If you're fermenting in a 23 litre bucket or a stainless steel conical, you want to hold that temperature to whatever the yeast likes. I've had a very lucky run here where the temperature was very, very consistent and very, very cool for a period of 2 weeks while I was fermenting my beer. I won't be so lucky in the summer, and if that had gone another week longer, we've had some freezing cold nights where there was potentially some damage that could have been done to the beer if I was still fermenting the beer. Luckily, it's been in a fridge with some temperature control. I've got a heat pad. I haven't got the heat belt. I'm sure I've got a heat belt somewhere, but I've got a heat pad that the plastic tub sits on. It's inside a fridge, and we've got a temperature controller that sits above, and we can control, that temperature to within something like 0.5 of a degree. I think I've got the variant set, which is cool. It's fun. Anyway, I'm going to do this while the water is still boiling hot, because the most difficult part, I'm not putting this side on yet because I need to screw this on. You'll see there's some steps we have to take. So all I'm doing here is softening the beer line with the hot water. And what that should allow me to do, you see, it's still very tricky. This barb is still very big, and to give it credit, it holds the beer very, very well. I always have trouble with this too. I really don't like that I'm trying to do this in real time, because I panic as well. Let's get some skizzles. Dip them in there. I'm going to put this back on because I might need some more hot water. The reason I'm getting the scissors is I'm just going to, stretch this out. Yeah, I completely forgot what I was talking about. There's a process for this anyway, and the process is put this on, slide this. That hurt my foot, that was burning. Now, again, doing it in real time sucks a bit. I like being able to pause the camera and pretend that I did it really quickly, but even getting this off, I had a hard time yanking it off, which just tells you how hard it is to, one, do, but two, the quality of the join, you know? If that held for that period of time and was still tricky to get off, then, you know, how lucky are we? Something like that anyway. I'm going to stop talking so much rubbish. I'm still doing the Westet, level 2 of beer, which is really cool. I kind of was more focused on Cicerone for a little while. I hadn't made much progress just because of life. Everything stopped for the last couple of years, 2-3 years, which is fine. You need those breaks sometimes. It wasn't much of a break, but you know, constant progress is tricky and difficult, and I don't know how anyone does it. I'm going to refill this up with boiling water, so I've just got that extra heat and make that a little bit more malleable. And the Westet level 2 has been a lot of fun. It's going to sound horrendous, but I don't think I'm learning heaps. They're going over a lot of stuff that I've already studied. It's one step up from your basics in grain, you know, malt, it's not grain, but malt, hops, water, yeast, and then basics in milling and brewing and fermentation. Which is cool to go over it all again, because I'm sure there's been stuff that I've gone, oh yeah, I remember that now, or you know, oh yeah, that's what that is, and it's really good refresher. But what I like about it the most is getting back into tasting. And the reason I say that is because, oh yes, there we go. Ah, very hot. Ah. Yeah, maybe let that sit in there a little bit too long. Let's just snippety snap you. There we go. One of the people I'm doing the course with is Mr. Gary Waters, a certified BJCP judge. Really cool guy, heavily involved in the SA Brew Club. And yeah, I've been talking with him a lot. He's been talking to me about, you know, becoming a certified BJCP judge, which has, you know, been on the radar for me for a little while. It wasn't a high priority, let's put it that way, but something that I definitely did want to do in my lifetime. And I've got the invite, I've got the call up, you know, come around, we're going to study, and you're going to get that accreditation / certification. But part of that is not just doing the study, it's, you know, actually judging beer. So I think I've said, like, I've entered a couple of meads into this year's ABCSA, formerly known as Sapsosa. I'm just going to quickly show you that while I remember. See that? Look at that join. Let me see. Oh, hopefully that gets that there, but that's really, really on there tight, right? And this is why that's the step. You put that on first, slide this puppy the whole way on. Beep-a-dee-ba-dee. Then you can really tighten this, knowing that tube is the whole way on, right? And I'll even nip this up with some pliers or some, a wrench of some description, right? Because we want that to just be really on there well. And on this side, this is why we do this now, because if we did this before, we couldn't have put that on. Now, the duo-type fitting, there's a little push connection here. We've checked this is all clean and sanitized, and all we have to do is go, boop, and that's on. And there we go, we've set up a Pluto gun. So it took me a couple of tries to get that on the on there with the boiling water, but I got that done. Anyway, what I was saying was that part of this BJCP study and part of this, I guess part of this Westet certification is using your skills and judging beer. So tomorrow, which will be the Saturday, the 7th of September, I'll be judging one of the categories of the ABCSA competition, which is really cool. and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm only doing the morning session because again I can't as much as I enjoy this and it's a lovely hobby and it's a lot of fun for me, I can't keep taking my time away from my children. That's really important to me, that if I take a day off and it's not with them, I need to be productive. And I know I haven't been fully productive, but I have been very productive. It's one of those, like, could be doing more, but I need, when do you have some time for yourself as well? But anyway, I'm judging the morning session, which is like from 9 until about midday, which will go towards my points for BJCP, but also is more importantly, the ABCSA now has enough judges to get through all the beers that have been entered in this competition, which again, really, really cool. So what I'm going to do right now, I might bring you with me, is I'm going to take you into the garage, and I'm going to maybe have a little pour and a little sniff of the fresh wet kit. Hi. I'm back. Sorry, I'm going to just, before anything else, this is Simo's child to sea ratio, and mead that I'm making, and I just cannot tell this lovely garage here. It's a big double garage and a bit, and the whole thing smells like fermentation. It's absolutely lovely and fantastic, and I just wanted to show that. That's one of those things, every time I come in here, I can smell that and I can see that bubbling away, so I'm just sanitizing my hands there because it was a tiny bit sticky. Yeah, and I cannot wait. I know that's going to be a long one, but it already smells so amazing. The melamel's sitting there bubbling away still with the extra couple of kilos of blueberries. Working very hard on getting this garage cleaned and ready for work. And I've got the actual roller door down. I love having it up, but it's so loud because we don't have a front fence. Once we have that front fence, I think I'll be able to have that up and to be able to do a little bit more. But until then, we're kind of, this is how we're going to operate. One quick second. So, can you see that? Let me check. Bang. Yes, you can. Okay. Ready. 5 days at 10 PSI. All of this stuff has still been working. The gas line is actually going into the gas in. I had to carbonate it through the liquid line, the liquid out, and I can hear it bubbling all the way up from the bottom every time I'd give it a bit of a, or I'd adjust the CO2. Anyway, we're ready to taste, so I'm very, very excited. So what I am going to do, I'm going to have to dump the first kind of little bit because of this, but we're going to just sanitize. I know I just blasted this with boiling water, but I don't know. Lovely. All right. The beer line length, I should have maybe mentioned that. I just emulated what I did the first time I did this. I did all of the measurements and calculations. At a 10 PSI, I needed this much beer line. I didn't measure it again. When I pulled the old beer line off, I put it up next to this one and cut it at the same length. Maybe that's something I'll talk about another time, is how to measure your beer line length. I don't know off the top of my head right now. What I do know is I did know at one stage. So let's pour this. Let's get a really good glass, right? And then I'm going to dump it. Perhaps I'll turn the serving pressure down just a little bit. I can't remember what I used to serve at. I thought it was 10, but that did come out a little bit foamy. I maybe just dump one more glass, just one more, just to make sure there's nothing wrong. I know this is like heresy, dumping beer, but I would rather have my first homebrewed beer in 3 months taste lovely. You know what, I do think it was at 10. So I'm going to serve at 10 psi. I'm going to serve at 10 because that's what I'm certain it is. All right. First beer that I have brewed in 2 years and 11 months. It's not an all grain. It is a fresh work kit, an all-in brewing company, American IPA. Fresh work kit, fermented at about 18 degrees. I'm going to shut this. I'm going to take my star scent out and then I'm going to shut it. At about 18 degrees for 14 days. Dry hopped for 4 with 50 grams of Citra and Centennial. Fermented with US-05. Cold crashed for about 3 days. And then put on 10 psi of CO2 for 5 to 6 days. Now that colour, that lovely, I don't know if you can see that against the outside light. Should I do that? Lovely golden beer colour. See that little cap I was just talking about, the 1/4 inch cap, the lovely tight white head? Smells lovely and citrusy, very American hops, almost like a sweetness, like a malt sweetness. I know you're not supposed to say sweet, but it's that caramel, like not burnt caramel, but the light caramel. Again, it's this caramel sweetness with this real American citrus hop. Cheers. Yes. We're back, baby. It's not really clear. It's not crystal clear. Like I love when I used to see an upside down snowstorm. I used to call that this lovely, cascading of bubbles upwards. We don't have that. And maybe that's because I need to leave it a little bit longer. Not clear, but nice. Really clean, very refreshing. You can't taste that it's 6%. It's about 6%. 1055 to 1010 was what the OG and FG were, which works out to like 5.9%. What an easy drinking beer. Really mellow. Nothing's jumping out at you. The hop aroma is probably more present than any hop flavour or character. That's just easy drinking. Super easy drinking. It's like a little bit bready. There's no burnt aroma or burnt flavors. It's like these white breads, these caramels. Like there's a small amount of bitterness right on the back end, but it doesn't linger. It doesn't last long. It kind of gets your mouth wet, goes down, and then says, "Have another one." Hello, Brady. That's my little Labrador, Brady. That keg's not going to last long. What an amazing beer. And this is why everyone should homebrew. That couldn't have been more simple. All I genuinely needed was a fermenter, a 23 litre or however many liters, you know, a plastic tub, and a fridge, essentially. If the temperature outside is right, you don't need the ferment. I would always recommend, though, temperature control for your fermentation. I don't really know what else to say about this other than it's just like an everyday beer. If you kept this on tap, I'd say closer nowadays to a pale ale or an XPA than an IPA, in all fairness, if I've got one criticism. When I have an IPA nowadays, I'm like, phew, you know, it's hops. This doesn't have that. But this, like, sessionability wise, geez, you know, you could drink a fair bit of this and not get sick of it. Saying that, thank you for hanging with me today. I really like doing these. I still am really not sold on whether this is going to be for me or I'm going to upload these one day. I just like doing them. The next couple of projects I've got, besides cleaning the garage / brewery, I've got a new brown ale, kit and kilo, to do. And I've found a couple of old tins of extract. I'm going to brew those up and just see how they taste. I'm going to make sure that the fermentation is done correctly and the yeast is good and all of that stuff. And I'm going to see how good of a beer I can make with extract kits while I settle on buying an all-grain brewery. But this, for my first beer back in 2 years and 11 months, 3 years pretty much, 3 years September now, is a very good one to start back with. Highly recommend it. And looking forward to what's next. And cheers. I'll see you at the next homebrew weekend.